What's going on, everyone? Life's been great. I hope you have all been doing fantastic. I know I haven't been posting nearly as much Mortal Kombat content as I've wanted to because YouTube's like flagged half of all of my MK content, which I guess is okay because we have so much more to experience together. And I want to take you guys through a journey that I had recently at a local arcade that was just so much fun. I know you guys are like, what, arcades are opening up in 2019? Well, this place is really legit, so let's check it out. So the place is called Capital City Arcade, and I went there with the Monday Night Fights gang and HappyConsoleGamer. You guys could see Rattel here ruining my shot, as he always does. But man, the moment that you walk into this place, you just get that 80s vibe, not only from the games, but the music as well. They're playing some 80s tunes in the background. You guys know that I ran straight to the Third Strike machine once I heard it. But they also had a wall of pinball machines, which isn't really my thing, but I've always appreciated the love and the art that goes into creating these things. It's just awesome that they had this available. Another thing that caught my attention was that they had some top-down shooters. This one I remember specifically from a viral YouTube video, and my friend Ben here is going at it because ever since playing Enter the Gungeon, this dude has been on a bullet hell craze. But I want to backtrack a bit before I show you even more from the arcade. If any of you followed my memorable Monday Night Fight series, you'll recognize a few faces here. These boys are like brothers to me, and before recording this, it was way too long before I seen them. So, you know, we had some drinks, we had some laughs, and, you know, before you know it, as usual, we'll start dogging on Rattel. Poor guy set this plan all together, and he just, you know, cannot get a break. But honestly, it's our way of showing love to the guy. It may not seem like it, but we do genuinely love him, even though it means digging deep into his Facebook account and showing some embarrassing photos. Shout out to that T-Pain shirt. You see, Billy is the master of diving deep into your past. Rattel, dog, what's your thoughts on this?
You know, I wanted to get everyone together tonight because I haven't seen everyone in a while. And this is the treatment, I guess.
To remind you, man. It's a reminder why we don't get together no more.
It's the last time.
The deep dive into the...
Billy is like one of the biggest trolls ever, and I love him for that. But let's head back into the arcade. I really want to emphasize the fact that I have never seen an arcade like this before. And what I mean is, arcades today, they really survive off those ticket machines that you can win prizes with afterwards, and there's a bunch of these mobile games like Angry Birds and Crossy Roads that have been turned into arcade cabinets. I know this because my local mall has an arcade, and more than half of it is filled with like mobile games. But luckily, Capital City Arcade has none of that garbage. It was straight filled with 80s classics, with a solid selection of 90s hits. There were plenty of cabinets that I didn't recognize, not only because they were before my generation, but because some were completely rare and obscure games that I'm sure many collectors have been hunting for. You can see this Ice Climber arcade cabinet, which I never really even knew existed before this. Same with a Punch-Out arcade machine, which I never knew existed. It was actually really fun. I didn't capture any gameplay of myself playing it. You can see Lou and Billy playing Track and Field, which is a game I actually grew up with playing on the NES in Russia, but I don't think they had any idea of what was going on.
Let's go, dude. Show us how it's done. Damn it! I'm so fucked up. I'm worried.
Sometimes I feel the longer we live as adults, the more we forget how to have brainless fun, and arcades like this really bring that out.
Look at that form, dude. Look at that.
Oh, am I controlling this or what is going on here?
I just loved seeing everyone turn into a kid again and, you know, play games that we would not normally play and might be even out of your comfort zone. It was nice to have everyone together. But was there any game that caught my attention? Well, in the same corner that the Third Strike machine was, Rattel caught my reaction in this Twitter video.
Bear, are you ready to play some fucking Power Stone?
My boy Wang Tang, dog.
In the arcade? Let's go.
Okay, it's the first one, but still, this was godlike as fuck.
I like the first one.
This is what we played on Monday Night Fight. Alright, I cannot believe. Behind you got MVC2, you got Third Strike.
Oh my.
What year is this, man?
Oh my goodness.
This is Vancouver, BC. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot believe it. It was a clean Q25 Capcom cab, which I've never had the pleasure of seeing in person before. Luckily, Rattel's favorite level is a place called My Dad, and I made sure not to give him home turf advantage.
Are they going to my dad?
My dad. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
I can get you anywhere.
Alright, so I have to admit that was the most intense Power Stone set I've ever had in my life, and I did not expect to have it that day at the arcade. It was way too close. Rattel was clearly in the lab, and he really showed me the power of throws in this game.
Oh no! That's the anti-power stone tech. You gotta grab. Oh, that's the anti-power stone tech, baby. Let's go.
Wang Tang Gang.
How do you grab?
Well, luckily, there are multiple rounds in a match of Power Stone, and Rattel's YouTube channel is called The Rattel Factor for a reason. You see, Rattel has a history of choking during intense sets, and once I knew the power of the throws, I made sure to keep him as far as possible.
We're in there. We're in there, baby. We are in there.
It's round 3, and it's about time that I use Rattel's tech against him.
Spirit bomb? Oh! You got the crown? I'm telling you, I told you the anti-power stone tech.
Now, the match was way too close for comfort, both of us with barely any health, but luckily I had a slight life lead right before the time ran out. But of course, you guys know, this was all calculated from the beginning.
Yes! Let's go, baby. We're in there.
Meanwhile, Lou and Billy were playing some top-down shooter on the Neogeo Cab. I think this cab had like 4 games built in, 2 of them being Windjammers and Garu. I've always wanted a Blast City or Astro City cabinet. I know this place just opened, but the buttons here just felt so brand new. Rattel and John were also exploring the cabs that were on floor, and these two were hilarious all night. John was just dogging on Rattel no matter what game he played. Even if Rattel was playing a single-player game, John was just there talking shit. It was amazing. John, what do you think about his performance right now?
I think it's absolutely wonderful. I am lying. I'm just trying to make you feel good.
The game they were playing was called APB, and it's actually a lot of fun, a very unique game, but aside from Rattel's gameplay, he didn't do a very good job showcasing what it's about. Well, let's check out a few more games that were at this arcade, because there were so many. I didn't even get to record half of them here, and so many classics. You guys could see this Neogeo arcade cabinet that had 4 games, one of them being Metal Slug. I grew up on Metal Slug, man, but the best part about this, and I mentioned this a lot, is just the amount of 80s games. If you love Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Donkey Kong Jr., it just had all of those favorite 80s hits, and man, they're all just such hard games.
Rattel.
It's hard, man. It's hard.
The great thing is you also get to rediscover some games. Ben found a game he grew up playing as a kid.
I haven't played it since I was a kid. Like, I legitimately played this.
Oh really, as a
One of the first games I ever played was this.
Yeah,
You see it, it's like, wow, this game does exist. Like, it wasn't just made up.
Meanwhile, Lou and Billy were still on their prowl for multiplayer games. They were playing a game called Karate Champ, which I actually have heard about before. And man, I gotta say, this game was hype as hell, man. You guys see Lou popping off there a little bit. It was so much fun watching people play this.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, yo, Lou, tell him. Oh, wait. On the other side, John and Rattel were continuing the rivalry playing Garu Mark of the Wolves, which is an awesome game. I'm surprised it took me this long to try it.
I'm not using the SMK.
Oh, I know. Life is tough. Life is hard.
I whip out every excuse I can.
Oh man, I absolutely love the trash talk. My favorite thing about arcades and playing with friends all together. They also had an NBA Jam cabinet, which was clean, and man, how much I loved this game growing up. All right, wait for Billy's face. Wait for Billy's. Oh God, there it is. Jeez, that man is serious about his NBA Jam. They also had these kid-sized Neogeo cabinets, which I have seen before, but this had a whole other list of games that was in it. You know, if you're an adult, you needed kind of a stool, a low stool, just to be low enough to be able to play some of these games. But man, I forgot what the name of this game was, but this was a really, really fun beat 'em up. It was so funny actually catching them playing this game because it looked like they were playing on the floor. But going back, I noticed John and Rattel switched to Windjammers because you could just hear them across the arcade.
See, this is called Windjammers. It's called Windjammers, baby.
Rattel, what do you got to say about that, dog?
You know, you grew up with this, right? I've never played this in my life.
Now I swear, these two were just extremely loud. I hope the arcade owners did not hate us because they just would not shut up. Like I was trying to get B-roll for the other games and you could hear these two trying to talk to me.
Bear, you're missing the comeback.
But I was more curious to know who won the set in Garu Mark of the Wolves.
Well, for me, it was easy. And for him, it was Tuesday.
I was figuring out my buttons, all right?
Oh, it's Terry versus Terry.
That was the hand warmers, right?
That was a hand warmer. That was a hand warmer. Learn from Smash players.
You got the CRT? Had a shower tool?
I also played a bit of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but sadly the footage came out a bit blurry. But you already know we had to end the night off with a little bit of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Good God, look how excited we were just looking at the scan lines and how crisp the screen looked, and the buttons were so good. Like the arcade cab felt so fresh, and it was extremely fun playing a few sets. And man, is this game fun. I'm a little salty that it was a bit before my generation, because I think if I actually grew up with this game, I would have played it a ton. And Rattel was just no match. That is a face of a man who is waiting for his ticket to Evo. Luckily, I caught John for a quick post-fight interview because I wanted to know how his battles against Rattel went. And here's what he had to say.
How did your set with Rattel go?
Amazing. I made him look like a complete fool. You know, I think he was born the year those games came out. So I was very disappointed in his performance. If you even call it a performance, I don't really call it.
So you best believe I had to go and find whatever the hell Rattel was doing and make sure that these accusations John was making were true.
So Rattel, man, John was talking about your performance. He said it was terrible.
I beat him.
You beat him.
Windjammers, I beat his ass. Whoa! I beat his ass.
Well, alright. That wraps up our journey, and I know every YouTuber says this, but please feel free to give this video a like. It would really help out a lot because I don't think this video is going to get a lot of views. I more so just wanted to share my experience with you guys at a local arcade that we all went to. And if you want to see more videos like this, let me know, because we do stuff like this. You know, we visit game stores and we just check out a lot of cool local stuff here in the Vancouver area. I feel like we don't get enough of that over here. You know, comparable to how large our nerd community is, it's almost sad that, you know, we don't have more arcades and that we're having such a difficult time opening barcades here. But I had a blast shooting this. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it and enjoyed watching the trash talk. I love you all very much, and I'll leave you guys with one more clip as we end out the arcade. I love you. You're all the best, and I'll see you in the next one. Billy, man, how do you feel, dog? Give me your review.
My wrist hurts.
Your wrist hurts.
I'm getting cold. I'm on the computer.
That's some hardcore ass gaming. Lou, give me your review, dog.
One button mashing.
Like,
It was cool, man. It was a really cool place.
Yeah?
It's a nice feel, you know, nice retro feel. We got the 80s music going on too, along with
Yeah.
the games. It was fun times,
John,
man.
final review.
I destroyed Rattel in Windjammers, which was no surprise.
No surprise. While he's wearing an SNK shirt.
beat me and Mark of the Wolves, which he should have, given what he's wearing.